Hello and welcome to round 4 of Grand Prix Boston Worcester. I'm Ben Swartz, joined here in the booth by Ray Punzlan, and what a match we have. We've got John Finkel on the right-hand side of the screen, facing off against Tom Strong on the left-hand side of the screen.
Now, many of you know John Finkel, Hall of Famer, top 82 Pro Tours, two of the last 3 Pro Tours, and
To the last 2 Pro Tours.
the last 2 Pro Tours. And he's just a resume that most people joining competitive Magic knows a lot about. Tom Strong on the other end, he's a local player.
Yep.
He's pretty strong within this area.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I believe he's from Connecticut. So John here starts off with a War Priest of Thune. And let's see what Tom Strong has.
Pro White.
Oh, we actually have their deck lists.
So that's a Knight of Infamy, I believe.
Knight of Infamy. They'll take care of the War Priest of Thune, but looks like the War Priest of Thune is going to get a Ring of Thune.
The rings, at first, when this format started, people seemed like they're solid, but I think as it progressed, it's gotten more and more.
Well, if you like it, you should have put a Ring of Thune on it, you know? Knight of Infamy will get in for 4 damage, 2 Exalted triggers, one from the Servant of Nephrox and one from the Knight of Infamy. While the War Priest of Thune gets a +1/+1 counter from the Ring of Thune. Duty Bound Dead for John Finkel will allow the War Priest of Thune to attack him for 4 damage, mirroring both of them at 16 life.
Tom has a Volcanic Geyser in his hand, drew a Swamp for the turn.
Looks like an aggressive black-red deck. Very aggressive black-red deck on Tom Strong's side. A great 2-drop and a great 3-drop.
See what Tom decides to do here. Double Exalted, guys. Can't make out the rest of his hand, but he goes in. Trying to come in for 5 damage after both triggers, so makes it a 5-3 right now. A Planar Cleansing in John's hand. I can't think of a card that John, unless the Exalters are still in the stack, maybe John has like a Rain of Blades, is it? Nope, it looks like the triggers have resolved and John will offer to trade. And no follow-up for Tom there.
Does it look like Finkel is
A Guardian.
stuck on 3 lands? Guardian will get played. Duty Bound Dead will get taken out by Volcanic Geyser. That's not really what you want to be doing with Volcanic Geyser, but Tom afraid of all the damage coming towards him. I guess it's only 2 damage.
I feel like it's a little early to pull the trigger on that Geyser right there.
Sorry, 3.
You'd imagine that Tom would be able to handle that.
Sure.
Let's see if there's any instants or sorceries in John's hand you can choose to play. There's a Planar Cleansing.
From the Mind Claw Shaman. Planar Cleansing can be played. I can't see what that second card is. Is that a Public Execution or a Crippling Blade?
I'm not exactly sure.
No, it's a Blood Hunter Bats, maybe? It's a flyer. I can't tell. And it looks like, of course, Tom's not going to cast that Planar Cleansing. That would not make too much sense in this situation. He wants to continue beating in with his Knight of Infamy.
Was that the Nephrox in John Finkel's hand?
Oh.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
Nephrox. Jeez.
So I found out what it was. Puts a ring on the Guardian right there.
Again, if you like it, you should put a Ring of Thune on it.
And Tom's going to just come beating in with his Pro White Knight. 6 mana available to him, no play.
Finkel down to 10 life already. Still a couple turns away from casting that Planar Cleansing if he wants to get out of this bind.
So John.
Go.
See what he ends up doing here. He has that. It's a Battlefly Eagle in his hand that was revealed earlier, right?
Yep.
But doesn't look like he wants to pull the trigger on that past the turn.
And he's still a couple turns away from casting the Nephrox.
Tom just keeps him beating in 3 at a time. Another counter on Guardian. Looks like a murder was drawn for John.
That's good. I'm sure you'd...
Oh, no, it wasn't a murder.
Bloodthorn Vampire? That's a lot worse than a murder.
Quick glance, it looked like a murder, but nope, Bloodthorn Vampire it is.
Yeah, so when he gets 6 lands, he can cast Planar Cleansing and then cast Nephrox. Boom, boom. But he's still short that 6th land.
And Tom knows the Planar Cleansing's there, so
He knows both of those cards. He knows Nephrox, Overlord of Grixis, and Planar Cleansing are in his hand, are in John's hand, rather. Knight continues to get in. John, with only a white creature back, Guardians of Krasa, cannot block the pro-white Knight of Infamy.
And there's also a Searing Spear in Tom's hand, so...
I mean, it looks like that Volcanizer play wasn't bad on Tom's part now. He was able to get John down to 4 life before John could pull the trigger on that Planar Cleansing. And
Fairy Invaders and a Searing Spear, and John's going to scoop it up here. All right, so a fairly quick game 1. Tom Strong taking it down. Let's see if either of these players make major changes to their decks.
I know John Finkel was talking to Mark Caldero about how he built his seal deck. I believe that feature will go up on the Magic the Gathering website at some point later today.
And just looking through John's list, it looks pretty solid. He has Mutilate within his deck. Of course, the Nephrox we mentioned earlier. Has some big game changers like the Planar Cleansing.
Yep.
But just overall, I'd just say it's
a solid black-white deck.
Yeah, solid black-white. Nothing super amazing, but definitely day toolable.
How many times do you think we're going to see this card today?
Card that Ben is currently showing me, Worldfire. I could say a good 0 times.
You think you're not going to see it once today?
I don't believe we'll see it once.
Okay, I'll take the over. I think we're going to see it 1 time today.
Generally, we're featuring these undefeated decks.
Worldfire's a powerful effect.
It is a pretty powerful effect. For 9 mana, I hope it is. But chances are...
I hope we see it today. That'd be awesome.
I would not be disappointed if it showed up. John definitely does look like he's making a major change here. He's not like some players who have their changes ready to switch out, so maybe John just realized there's a better plan in his board. And it looks like the red plan. So peeking at his deck, things like in his board he has Arms Dealer, Blade Tusk Boar. Trying to see if there's anything super exciting. Yeah, it looks like he was bringing in red. Watching him sideboard there, but turn to Slag. Yeah, nothing too wild there. Tom, on the other hand, looks like he just kept put with his deck. He's pretty satisfied with how that all turned out.
Players shuffling up for game 2.
If you're just joining us, this is round 4 of Grand Prix Boston. In the booth right now is myself, Ray Punzalan, and Ben Swartz.
Ray Punzalan.
I think the name is perfect now on there. Not too many extra letters. But we started coverage around 3, so if you didn't miss out on too much, we'll have those videos up eventually for you to watch throughout probably sometime during the day.
How many wins do you think we'll see with this card? I'm pointing to Battle of Wits.
Battle of Wits. I would like to see 1. Again, I will go with 0.
Okay, what about this card? Hold on.
All right, let's see the next card that Ben would like to see. Door to Nothingness. All these gimmicky cards, but again, 0. I would like to see a win with that too. If I could see a win with each of these cards, I'd be very satisfied. Well, Worldfire, you don't even have to win. I just want you to cast it.
Yeah.
All right, here's John. He has his hand ready. Looks like he's keeping. Definitely a switch over to red.
Tom's figuring out if he wants to keep, and John starts things off with a turn 1 Duty Bound Dead.
Tom with nothing there. I really like Duty Bound Dead.
Yeah, I think it's a very strong card. Krenko's Command on turn 2 for John, mounting a small army.
Digging up some tokens there.
And no turn 2 play from Tom.
Maybe John's going for like a really aggressive Trumpet Blast type deck.
Not sure. He looks like he's going to cast Servant of Neferox, attacking for 3.
I have to check.
Dropping time down to 16.
Go.
The Exalted with the Krenko's command doesn't really work too well together. And Tom is going to pick off the Servant with Searing Spear. And play a Servant of Neferox himself.
John switch it to a more of a mirror match.
Looks like I see a Flames to the Firebrand in John's hand, but he's going to pump the brakes, play another Duty Bound Dead, attack, and hope to get a little extra value out of that Flames. Cast a Mog Flunkies, it looks like, post-combat.
Go.
Mog Flunkies. One of my favorite cards to be playing in this limited format.
Yeah, it's really powerful, deceptively powerful. To begin with, when the format first came out, people weren't sure if it was good. Sort of a weird card to evaluate. But it's turned out to be probably one of the best red creatures, one of the best red commons.
Hard to beat those very aggressive red decks where they're playing like flunkies and multiple
Trumpet.
flunkies, even in Trumpet Blast.
Krenko's Command, Arms Dealer.
Yeah, though Mog Flunkies and Exalted kind of get weird.
Right.
Tom only had 8 life.
Yeah,
He's going to crack his Evolving Wilds here. Let's see if he has some splash color he's trying to get to. No, just the double black.
John's really put the beats on this Tom.
See what kind of defense Tom can put up now.
Tom
He
does.
has blue in his hand
Blue.
right now.
He's got a blue splash. I see 2 islands in his registered deck.
It looks like they're splashing for Fairy Invaders, which I also saw in his hand to go along with the island.
So he's got the island in hand. He didn't need to go search it up with Evolving Wilds. But he's going to play the Mind Claw Shaman, get a look at John's hand, see if there's anything he can take.
See if John has any instants in his hand that he'd like to use. Oh, and John does have that. We did see
yeah,
the
Flames
fire,
of the Firebrand.
Flames of the Firebrand and a Coward of Fear.
I'm curious. Oh, Cower and Fear too. I'm curious which one Tom will choose. Probably Flames.
You think of Flames because
Take out the 2 Krenko's Command tokens.
and it's a card that John could actually cast.
Yeah, I mean, it would decimate Tom's team. It would kill both the creatures.
And Mog Flunkies can't attack anymore. Unless
Well, it can attack.
Yeah.
His Duty Band can attack, but it's not as great as when he attacked with the Krenko's Command tokens. I see William Jensen walking up with a match slip. He started off in a rocky 0-2 start, but I think he's rallied back to 2-2 here.
John blocks and regenerates. See what he picks up for this turn. He can come in both, regenerate, and maybe just squeeze in 3 damage. One of Tom's options there. Or just come in with 1.
Yeah, just come in with the Duty Bound Dead. Becomes a 2-2 because of the 2 Exalted triggers from both of the Duty Bound Deads.
Allows him still to play something if John did draw any action.
Didn't look like he did, though. He's got a Cower and Fear in hand and one other card we didn't quite see. Whatever he drew this turn.
So it looks like there's a Wild Guess, a Fairy Invaders, a Mountain, another unseeable card in Tom's hand. Passes the turn. Still no double black for the Cower and Fear.
Yeah, but then again, Cower and Fear wouldn't do
Wouldn't do too
much. Just get rid of that Servant of Neferox. There's 2 Fairy Invaders in Tom Strong's hand.
So how strong would you think Fairies Invaders is? Is it something you'd splash, kind of like Tom's doing over here?
Maybe, but I think it's a very powerful card. Firewing Phoenix for John Finkel there. 4/2 flyer, 1 red, return it from the graveyard to your hand. So he's got the mana he needs to return it so he can start trying to deal some damage with it.
Tom
Block.
had a second Searing Spear in his hand. Looked like he was considering offing it and making John spend some time bringing it back. Then
Yeah. You can do it, though, anytime. It's
Yeah.
not just during your upkeep.
That was that Magma Phoenix that you couldn't. You don't have to do it during your upkeep.
Yep, Searing Spear will take out the Firewing Phoenix.
4 in there.
Invaders will start going after John Finkel's life total there.
Good.
And you said you saw a second Invaders in Tom's hand, right?
Yep, along with that Wild Guess.
John could be in some serious trouble here.
So John, considering his attacks, not sure what he drew. Looks like he's just going to get with the Duty Bandit, and he's going to get gotten by that Fairy Invaders in Tom Strong's hand.
Tom will do some blocking here.
I mean, it'll just bounce off because the Duty Bandit's a 2/4. But now, if John wants, he can 2 for 2. Tom, he can get rid of his Duty Bandit and his Cower and Fear to get rid of Tom's Fairy Invaders and Servant of Nephrox. I'm not sure if that's too good, but
it looks like John has an Essence Drain, so he can take out one of these guys.
okay.
Go back to 14 and then spend time later in the game returning his flyer from the graveyard.
So John here taking his time, figuring out what he wants to do, planning out future turns in this game.
Yeah, he's using time now, throw off his opponent, make him think that maybe I have an instant I could use now. Tom knows one of the cards.
Well, he does have an instant he can use. He can use Essence Drain. So.
Oh, I didn't realize that was Essence Drain an instant? I felt like it was a sorcery.
Oh, it is a sorcery.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought it was an instant. I'm getting confused with Ribbons of Night, which is an instant, right?
Sorcery too, according to Rashad.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'm just completely off.
So now with that done, John probably has to Essence Drain one of the Fairy Invaders. He'll get too low in life, and it looks like that's what, at least that's where I'd be thinking. Let's Essence Drain one, protect our life total a little bit, and then go back to returning our flyer later on.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to do that to be able to get ahead in this game. You take out the Fairy Invaders.
Gain some life. Pass it along. So Wild Guess and an Island in Tom's hand.
Wild Guess will discard the Augur Bolas.
Augur Bolas was an Island. Duress and Knight of Infamy drawn over by Tom. Lead off with Duress. Show the Cower. Knight of Infamy, and here comes a Fairy Invader for 5, dropping John down to 9 life. John's going to need more help than just his flyer in the yard now with 2 Exalted triggers helping out the Fairy Invaders there.
Yeah. The Fairy Invaders will be 5/5 while attacking alone. Duty Bandit will get in there.
Okay.
Tom trumps.
Yep, the Mind Claw Shaman bites the dust.
Okay, no clue what John drew that turn. Tom could just keep it coming in with his Fairy Invaders.
You'd be a little worried when your opponent passes back with 5 mana, but Chandra's Fury will take out John Finkel.
All right,
And Tom Strong takes the match 2-0 against Hall of Famer John Finkel.
John falls 3-1, starting off with 3 buys, of course. Tom looks pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that one. Right
Not
there.
every day you get to beat, one of the best